Yes, great.
How are you?
Hello.
Ciao, Davide.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I would like to ask everyone who is not talking to mute themselves. And everybody will have an opportunity to talk, for sure. But I have to kind of try to moderate a bit. So, yes, Birja Station is muted. Okay. Okay. So we are joining you from Berlin, from the CEO Now's Berlin office. This is Tobias and Adriana. And CEO Now is our partner organization for this year's What Do We Have in Common project. And there will be more things happening in Berlin in warmer months. So you should be following us. Yeah, thank you everyone who joined spontaneously. We thought it would be a good idea to have a kind of a final reflection talk, and everybody has an opportunity to say a few words, and I'll try to show your project. If you are on a Birja station, if you are with your computer, you can share your screen and maybe just show some shots of the project. Yes, I would like to introduce the Tbilisi, the Birja station, one of the installations where most of the local participants have gathered. So I will unmute them, or you can unmute yourselves, Birja station, to say hello.
Fuck you.
Hi.
Yes. Hello. Great. So yeah, thank you everyone for making this year's Biennial happen. All the projects that were part of the Biennial were amazing, and I really hope that we continue the collaboration, and I'm really looking forward to the publication and to the catalog that we're going to make afterwards with all these materials. So I would ask shortly to maybe we can actually start the Berlin part to say very, very shortly about like CEO Now's contribution, and then I would let the Birja station continue, and then we'll continue first with physical projects, and then with the digital and workshop and publications, symposium publications. And I hope more people will join. So maybe Toby, you would like to say a few words, what is also planned in the future, and what we have managed to do one day, Berlin Pavilion.
Yeah, first of all, hi to everyone once again. Thanks for the amazing contributions we saw in the last 3 weeks, and also a big thank you to everyone involved with planning and organizing this year's edition of the Tbilisi Biennial. As you might know, we are currently working on a movie on the question, what do we have in common, which was supposed to premiere in June or July of the next year. And we also started a project we called the Tbilisi Architecture Biennial Berlin Pavilion, which we unfortunately, due to the developments in the COVID situation in Germany, we had to stop it after 1 or 3 days. But we are already in the planning process with the Biennale and especially Tinatin here in Berlin for another edition of this in the so-called warmer month. We hope in a post-COVID situation. And as we did plan for the last weeks, we will gather mainly the participants here from the Berlin area, but not to say too much about the plans so far. We hope also to see some of you there in physical situation and with the possibility to exchange our thoughts and ideas in real life. So thank you once again, and so much from our side.
Thank you, Toby. So I would now ask somebody in Birja station to unmute yourselves and say a few words. And can you please unmute yourselves at the Birja station and introduce who are there, which project you represent?
Hello.
Okay.
Can you hear my voice, Dicho? Okay, great. First of all, thank you for everything and being with us. And today is somehow summing up everything together. And
Which project you
we would like to represent our projects, and the participants will talk about their project, how did they work for them and for the biennial and so on and so on. And let's start from which project? Maybe from yours. This is Workshop Collective with their project Special Formation, which is exhibited in Maudi, and Dimitri.
Hi everyone, thanks for having us here. So we are part of workshop group. 2 members are not here with us now, unfortunately, but it's just me, Dimitri, and Lisa. So can you hear us? How is the voice? Is it fine? Yeah, fine. Okay, so our project was called is called Spatial Formations, and initially we started this research independently from this biennial, and the idea of this research is to kind of find out different living situations, different living conditions in Tbilisi, kind of to map out these different spaces, and then kind of do a more local kind of focused research on particular typologies. So we had 8 different typologies, which kind of represents 8 different periods from end of 19th century till now, and 7 of which are building typologies, and 1 is homelessness as another condition, which Lisa maybe can talk a bit more later on. So for this particular, for the Biennial, we kind of decided to present this research in form of exhibition. So we worked in considering that, like, to become this kind of physical manifestation of this research. And well, we had like different media which kind of told the story about these different situations, different conditions. We made some physical models, we made movies as well. So for each category there was 10-15 minutes short movie. We also had some we researched some stuff from archives, so I translated this into a digitized form, and based on that we made some diagrams as well to show some of these things. And yeah, I don't know, I'll pass on to Lisa, maybe she can also say a few words.
Yes. I think I would talk a bit more about the process. So what was really important for me personally is that this whole process was not that much based on the information or documentation that you would have, for example, in archives, but more it was always the information came from the residents themselves. So on one hand, it was like always the first step was to like talk and interview the residents that we chose, and for example the drawings that we got, it was also mostly from the residents, right? And therefore the research was quite personal and somehow oriented on the people who live in the spaces and the way that they experience those spaces, right? Um, what else should we talk about?
Or maybe if you have some questions. I don't know.
Yeah, questions.
I think we can, after all the physical projects will say something, then we can reflect a bit and ask questions. So maybe not to take too much time, we can move to another project. Maybe
Okay, I think it would be more relevant to start with Birja stations authors, like for example, Anna and David are attending, and they will tell us about this context we are attending now.
Sorry, Dato. I'll be translating for Dato this evening. So
მიხარიან პირველ რიგში დიდი მადლობა რომ ყველანი შევიკრიბეთ და მადლობა Biennial's teams.
first of all, I'm very happy that we got together, and much thanks to the Biennial team.
მიხარი რომ გადაწყდა ჩვენ პავილიონში პრინციპში მაგითაც იყო გამყოფილი რომ შეგვიძლია ხალხი და შეგვიძლია სარკი
I'm really happy that we decided to come together here at Birja Station for the closing of the Biennial, and that was the main idea. The togetherness, the getting together was the main idea of Birja Station itself.
და ხუთივე რაღაც კარგად ჩატარდა, საინტერესო იყო. რაღაც რაოდენობა ხალხის ისრებოდა ფიზიკურად, რაღაც რაოდენობა ხალხის და ლაივში როგორც
we had planned 4 events that I think went quite well. Some part was, well, some people came on stage and listened here, and others listened online through our stream.
და რაღაც ამ პერიოდის განმავლობაში ეს გახდა რაღაც ესეთი რაღაც ლაბორატორიის დროებითი ლაბორატორიის ხასიათი მიიღო, სადაც მოდის ხალხი რაღაც იკრიბება, მოაქვს რაღაც აპარატურა და შორიდან ჩანს როგორც რაღაცა ესეთი კონცენტრირებული ადგილი, სადაც რაღაცები განიხილება და მიდის სხვადასხვა დისკუსიები და საუბრები.
And Birja Station turned into a sort of laboratory where different people with different tools came together, and we discussed new topics and interesting topics.
კიდე საინტერესო იყო კიდე ის მომენტი, რომ სტუდენტებთან ერთად ვიმუშაოთ და დიდი მადლობა მინდა ყველას გადაუხადო. დახმარებას ვერ დავარქმევი ან მონაწილეობის იმაში რომ მონაწილეობა მიიღეს და ერთად რაღაც ავაშენეთ, იმიტომ რომ მშენებლობის პროცესი ვთვლი რომ ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანი არის და მშენებლობის პროცესში ბევრი რაღაცები განიხილება და ვფიქრობ რომ ყველასთვის ჩემთვის მნიშვნელოვანი იყო.
And much thanks to all the participants, the architecture and interior design students that helped us with the building of Birja Station itself. And I think that the construction of it was a huge part of this project. The discussions that happened on the project were very important.
კონცეფციაზე აღარ ვისაუბრებ, იმიტომ რომ მე მგონი ყველამ იცის რაც ვიწერია ეს კონცეფცია, რაზეც არის ეს ნამუშევარი გაკეთებული.
We won't talk about the concept itself right now because we have the concept written on our page.
ეს არის ეს ანუ ძველ აკადემ ქალაქის ტერიტორიაზე დგას, მაგრამ არის ანუ ისეთ ადგილასაც ხალხი ხშირად არ ხვდება, უფრო არის აი ხრამთან დგას რა, ასე ვთქვათ.
This place where we built Bridge Station, it is located in the old academy town, but it is a place where not many people come to. It is by a steep slope, and we want to.
შეიძლება და ამიტომაც ბევრი ხალხი ვერ შემოდის და ფიქრობდით რომ არ გაგვეკეთებინა ეს ადგილასაც აი როგორ ვთქვათ მეინსტრიმულ ადგილასაც ძალიან ბევრი ხალხი მოძრაობს ყოფილიყო რაღაც პრო მარგინალიზირებული.
And the reason we chose this place was because we didn't want to build Bridge Station at a mainstream place, at a place where a lot of people go to. We wanted to be sort of at the margins of the city, a place where not a lot of people go to.
ხო კიდე რაც გამახსენდა მინდა რომ მადლობა გადავხადო ჩვენ მეგობრებს რომლებიც დავინახე ხა აქ არიან მიშა მურავსკის, მაშა მილეევას, დენის მაქსიმოვს ვისთან ერთადაც ჩვენ ეს პროექტი გავაკეთეთ და ანი ჩორგოვაში.
And I want to give thanks to all the people that participated in this project, that gave all the lectures, Dicho, Misha Murovsky,
ასევე კონსტანცა კუროს და დანარჩენებს, ვინც ბევრი მასალები მოგცა, ვისაც აქვს გაკეთებული სხვადასხვა კვლევები 2008 წელს, ანუ ბირჟის ფენომენთან დაკავშირებით და ძალიან საინტერესო იყო, იმიტომ რომ ბევრი ინფორმაცია ამოკრიბეთ მაგ კვლევებიდან, რომლებიც მე მგონი ჩვენ Facebook გვერდზე გამოქვეყნებული გვაქვს და ყველას შეუძლია რომ წაიკითხოს.
We also want to thank people like Kasan Sakura, who in 2008 did a fantastic study about Birja, and we used her writing as inspiration for our project. You can find her texts on our website.
კიდე დავამატებ და შემდეგ გადავწყვი ანის რომ ეს ესეთი რაღაცა არის რომ ანუ ამ გარემოში როგორც არის განაშენიანებული ძალიან ველური გარემოა რა და ამ ველურ გარემოში დგას ესეთი პატარა პავილიონი რომელიც ძალიან კონტრასტულია ამ გარემოსთან.
I'll also add before giving the mic to Ani that the environment, the place we're in right now is very wild, and in this wild nature environment, we build this sort of modernized environment that is very much in contrast with the place that it is situated with. All right.
Hi, everyone. I would love to add a few words about this spot where this Bridge Station is located. It's a territory of Academ City, as Dato mentioned, and it's really interesting place because we can see really clear how the ways how the architectural development of the city went in 20th century. I mean Tbilisi. Because we here we have different layers, architectural layers from the beginning of 20th century. Also, we can find some buildings from Stalinist architecture. Then actually the part of Academ City. This project was developed in 60s. And after 90s, the territory was kindly really chaotic development took place, and now we have a lot of residential buildings here built without any regulations, and this process is still on, so we can I don't know, for me it's like really interesting spot, and we can kind of like learn a lot of about this experience which had Tbilisi in 20th century. So actually that's why we chose this territory, because not much things happening here. And we built this installation here because like to encourage people to come here and to observe this district. So yes, and we were working and like as Dato mentioned, we had a program here, and we were talking about the local practice of birja. And we worked on this program with pyramid with a project, London-based project, Community Life, and some of the members are here. I think Misha is here, so maybe Misha would love to add some. If you want to add something about Misha.
I think he's not here.
No?
No, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
So maybe we can continue with another physical project. Is there somebody representing a physical project in Birja station?
Yes, I think we can continue with Irina Kurtishvili's project, which was including an exhibition and alternative tour and also archive exhibition. I think Irina will continue, and afterwards we can, the playground girls will follow.
Hello?
Tico, can you share the screen with her project?
Huh? Point actually რაღაცასთან.
Okay.
Tico? Hello?
Yeah, I'm showing the project from the website, so you can just start telling about your project and the exhibition. I'm just sharing our website where your project is located.
For Biennale team, thank you very much for this possibility. And Tina, thank you. And გავაგზავნე გერმანულად? No. Tina, გესმის ჩემი?
კი,
ამაღამ ხო იცი მოვფრინავე ხლა ამაღამ მე ცოტა ისე ვარ რა. არ ვიცი, ლიფტი არ მუშაობს და ჩემოდანი როგორ უნდა ჩავიტანო არ ვიცი. მე 7 სართულიდან რაღაც ფაზაა გათიშული. მოკლედ თუ არის მანდ ვინმე გერმანელები გიზიან გვერდით?
ორი მარტო.
ორი გიზიან ბერლინში ხო?
Irina, it's okay. You can say in Georgian and we can translate or...
Oh, that's fine. Thank you. Ну, როგორ არის, აი, უკვე მერიდება, იმიტომ რომ ბევრი თქვა უკვე ამ პროექტზე. მე არა ვარ მიჩვეული, აი, ამდენ აი ესეთ რაღაც გადაჭარბებული, ну, დიდი პროექტები კი მაქვს გაკეთებული, მაგრამ თბილისში მაინც რაღაცა გადაჭარბებული ყურადღება იყო პრესა media.
I'm not very comfortable with giving this types of talk with this many people. Even in Tbilisi, the work I did, even the big works, kind of got a bit too much attention with the media and people.
და მე მგონი ეს რომ მინდოდა რომ გამიკეთებინა ჩემთან სახელოსნოში, ნუ მე გადავიდა დიდ საგამოფენო უფრო სერიოზულ სივრცეში და მაინც რა ვიცი მე მგონი ხალხს უფრო ახსოვთ ამ არქიტექტურული ტურებით რაზეც მე პირადად ძალიან ვიხალისე.
My project began, I wanted to do it in my own studio, in my own place. Then it started turning into this sort of bigger project that people remember me by the architecture biennial walks that I did.
და რა ვიცი ალბათ დაახსოვდებათ Biennale's მონაწილეებს. შემდეგი ერთი წელი კიდევ მაინც.
And I think the biennial participants, I hope that they will remember this project.
და კიდევ ერთხელ დიდი მადლობა. Thank you very much.
And also, thank you very much.
Დიდი madloba, Irina. I'm trying to show all the projects, but it's very like not so easy job. So sorry if I'm. So now we're heading to the playground. No, please.
Okay, Michan. ჩვენ პროექტზე ესე
ნუ რატომ გადავწყვეტეთ საერთოდ რომ playground-ი გავაკეთებთ.
ეგ თქვი. პირველ რიგში ჩვენ ამ სივრცეებიდან გამომდინარე დავიწყეთ ჩვენ პროექტზე ფიქრი და რაღაც ბევრი საჯარო სივრცის შესახებ გავიგეთ რომ კერძო არის და playground-ის გაკეთების იდეა გაგვიშთა, იმიტომ რომ პირველი სივრცე არის, სადაც ადამიანი საზოგადო სივრცესთან ახდენს კომუნიკაციას და სხვებთან ბავშვობიდან და ამ მეტროს სახურავზე რომ გავიგეთ რომ არის კერძო საკუთრება მეტროს სახურავი და წინ მიმდებარე ტერიტორია გაგვიშთა იდეა რომ მანდ გაგვეკეთებინეს მიუწვდომელი საჯარო სივრცე, სადაც ადამიანს მისვლა და იქ ახლოს შეხება არ შეეძლებოდა.
So the project began first off with the spaces itself. So we found out a lot about different public spaces or spaces that we thought were public that were privatized in the 90s, and discovered this space on top of Warsaw Metro. And it turned out that the rooftop was privatized. And we decided to build a playground space on top of the rooftop, sort of idea that this was a sort of an unreachable playground.
That's it.
And thank you a lot to be in that team for giving us the opportunity to make this project.
Thank you all. So is there any other physical projects at the Birja station?
Not at Birja station, but he's in Zoom conference. Nico Shavomidze, you can unmute him and he will represent his upcoming project. In 1 week, it will be open. Nikusha, please.
Nikusha.
Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, our project was not finished because of weather conditions. And I think it will be ready next week. So the location of the project, it's the old, like a film town in the city center of Tbilisi. And once it used to be a very important and very alive place. It was like a Georgian Soviet version of Hollywood there. It's like a film town with like a simulation of the town.
Nikusha, can you share one photo maybe?
The existing situation or?
Yeah, just one photo to have an idea.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll share the screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the location of the place. And this area is the old film town, and it's full of lots of different buildings with its infrastructural objects and street system. And one of the objects is the old Olympic standard swimming pool, 25 meters to 12 and a half. It's really deep and big, concrete hole, which was abandoned in a really bad condition. My first encounter was I was walking around the place in the dark with my friends. I almost fell inside, and that's how I discovered. And then I got this idea to convert it or transform it to something different and something usable. So yeah, that's the existing geometry. And yeah, our idea was to transform it to an amphitheater and to somehow save this link of the object. Once it used to be a swimming pool, so this blue color, it's like a concrete built slabs as levels with the stage at the very bottom. And then everything is painted in the light blue color just to remind us to the swimming pool that it will never be a swimming pool, there will never be a water, but psychologically, the first thing you have, the first feeling you have is that it's a swimming pool, but used in a different way. So was our project. It's almost finished. It's all built and ready, but the painting, because of wet weather conditions, the painting got postponed. So I think it will be ready next week. And we're planning to have a party there, just a simple musical event and gathering and live streaming.
Right, we're looking forward.
Yeah, me too.
Good luck with the weather. So
Yeah.
I would like to ask now, we have Sarah calls from the Isthmus group. So they did a super amazing intervention into an unknown oasis. So please, can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, and did you want to show from the Biennial website, or should we show our photos?
Please show your photos because it's easier. The Biennial website.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, and Ben Hackenberger's with me here. So our project in brief is we found this. It's a big open space near Avlabari. It was formerly a military base, which was cleared about 15 years ago of all of its buildings. It hasn't been redeveloped yet. There's some development ideas about it, but what has developed is a wetland. So this little biodiverse ecosystem, because there was a broken water main in this area. So it's developed maybe about 15 years now. It's had more water in this one area. So we took that as a kind of cue to think about this as how does this develop as a common open space for both people and for different species? So there's actually two water sources. This is the lower one. And then there's one up above. And there's already been, some of the neighbors have done some of the shaping of this waterway, and they've created a pond. There's frogs. It's kind of a nice little microclimate. Here you can see Kierkegaard at the other pond. So we decided to kind of continue with that as a prompt and improvise on that as a way to get to an idea of how the area might be developed as a large open space and greenway connection for Tbilisi, to get to know the ecology and the soils, but also for our own practice, which is really only just formed in the past year, how we would all learn how to work together physically, and not just, through drawings. And then, so we hired we hired a backhoe, and just basically took out a lot of concrete, and had a couple of different elements fabricated that would help people get around the site and kind of form a sort of a logic to the site. And then we've continued planting. A few days ago, we had a big planting workshop. So we'll be starting another forest on this land, and we'll do another planting workshop a week. Well, actually, just this coming Saturday, if people are interested. And we'll just kind of keep working here, more or less, as our test garden. Do you have stuff to add, Ben?
No, I think that rounds it up. We have on level 32 of the Biennial's building, there are some the professional photos of the site, but we wanted to show how much this process of transformation happened like in person, and with collaboration. It was, it was amazing. Is all I can say.
And you can really see how much the weather and the light changes in this particular area. Like, get this really interesting evening light and a lot of reflection. And we really just, I don't know, it was such a great opportunity. And I think we're really so grateful to be able to do this project and have the support of the Biennial and have the support of the community on it. And it was just really transformative for us as well as that landscape. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and good luck. I hope that it will develop even further and become a park for a common space.
Yes. Absolutely. And it's now we marked a place. You can search it on Google Maps and it'll actually put the pin in the proper location. So, it's always open. We've changed a few of the elements just for just to conserve some of the metal. So we're just doing a bit of adaptation at this point and planting more trees. But it's always there now.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, and the whole Isthmus team. I would like to ask now, I see Anna Dobrova from the Meta Lab Ukraine, our another partners in the project, together with CEO Now. So Anna, maybe you can tell about all the physical projects that happened in Ukraine, because there were 3 pavilions. And if there is somebody in the participants who's a representative of the project, can also join you.
For now, I don't see any of others from Ukraine to join, but I will tell about the projects. First of all, hi everyone. I'm really happy we finally met all together, and it was a great journey. I'm really grateful to Tbilisi Architecture Biennial team and partners, and also all the participants, because I see here Millennia now. Milona. I always mix here. And I see here also Alexandra from the Stroika and the Kumbima projects. I'm really grateful for your participation in our pavilions. It was really interesting experience. So from our side, we did 3 pavilions, offline pavilions in 3 cities in Ukraine, in Ivano-Frankivsk, in Kiev, and in Dnipro. And in Dnipro is the last day of the exhibition today. So we managed before the lockdowns to do that, and we showed there several projects. First of all, Ukrainian, because we had different. I will show you some photos because we had some of the. Because we have 4 Ukrainian projects we were presenting. So here I have some slides from these exhibitions. First one was on the Promprilat factory in Ivano-Frankivsk, and we had there the networked homes project from the Center of Special Technologies. It was a project about the renovation of the flat and its impact on the environment. It's a digital project, and the guys who did the big research on how they gathered all the data from different materials they were making the renovation, and it's online, and you can see this digital representation of this renovation, it's quite complicated but multi-layered project. Then we had this it's a Kiev Pavilion in Pavilion 13 in Biennial. I'm also thankful for the project we showed there, this Outpost Habit project. We had also, this is actually the representation of this network homes project, because they brought all the materials left from their renovation of their apartment. And also there was also a physical project called the sanatorium, the pension and their refugee rooms. It was a project of Dana Kosmina and Network Homes, and Mikola Ridny, and they did an installation in the center of Kiev about the Hotel Iberia in Tbilisi, and also the Hotel Gerlo in Ukraine, because these hotels has the same history, because they were occupied by refugees during war in Georgia and also war in Ukraine. So they made an installation dedicated to this phenomenon, and also an exhibition about that research. Also, so this is the pavilion of in Kiev, and we also had a big project called Under Structures, where the group of architects gathered the constructions from the building site, and they make also the research on how these constructions are created, and they made also interviews and talks with the authors of these constructions, and so on and so on. So there were 4 projects from Ukraine, and this was the installation in Dnipro. So we made this moving pavilion of these exhibitions, and we united with these exhibitions 3 young bottom-up cultural centers from Ukraine that are still building up their scene, and we brought these exhibitions to the centers, and in this way also supported the cultural scene in Ukraine. So that's to make it short, that's it. And now we are preparing also the movies about that, and also online there are all the movies and projects which were presented within these exhibitions. So
thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you.
Amazing job. Thank you. So to move on, we move now to Milan, Dicho Pavilion. Hello, guys. And there were 2 identically twin pavilions in Tbilisi and Milan. So yeah, please tell more about it, and maybe share some photos as well.
Hi all. Let's see if I can share screen. Yes. Okay. So, hi, I'm Mattia. With me on the call there is Luigi and Davide somewhere in the tiles of Zoom. And Marcello is not present. We are a collective of architects and designers based between Milan and Rotterdam. So, for the Tbilisi Biennial, we designed a pavilion, a double pavilion based both in Tbilisi and in Milano. Dicho, that means it comes from the word dichotomy, is a pavilion that reflects on the double aspect of the two worlds, realms of like digital and physical realms, and also the two worlds of Milano and Tbilisi. The main idea of the pavilion was to create a space for discourse and for talks, focusing both on young designer and also on digital entrepreneurs, streamer, video games, and YouTubers. The pavilion were located one in Tbilisi, in this beautiful abandoned building. It was a station for the cable car in Tbilisi, while in Milan was placed in the Triennale of Milan. That is a design museum, a really famous and historical design museum. Here you can see one picture from the pavilion in Milano, and we are really happy because in a way we had two identical pavilions that were in two different parts of Europe and of the world, and we were really happy. Now some image of the one in Tbilisi arrives. This is the other pavilion. It looks basically is like identical. And as you can see, the pavilion, it's a sort of digital pool where the blue curtains are removed, and at their place there is whatever digital content the guest was invited to show. So in a way, it was a virtual pavilion where the surfaces were disappearing to show another reality inside the physical space. We had a huge series of talks and takeovers and performances. This is one talk in Tbilisi, another talk. This is still the pavilion in Tbilisi. Here you can see the removal of the background. That was really fun. Here was an amazing DJ set organized in Tbilisi by Tbilisi Orja. And as you can see, it was also live on the Tbilisi Biennial website and YouTube. This is one of the moments in Milano. It was a conference with a series of young movie director that choose to represent architecture in the music videos of young Italian rappers and artists, and Bianca, that was the host. Some more picture of how it was happening. Basically, when we had a guest, their own material was broadcasted in the space, and so in a way the visitors and the guest lecturer were immersed in a digital space. Here again, some pictures. It was every time different. So in a way, the blue surface was disappearing and was collecting online and was streamed online, both on YouTube and on our Twitch channel. We had fun because visitors in Milano, before the museum was closed, like until 2 days ago, the museum was open, and guests were interacting with the digital surface because the webcam was always on and was in a way projecting live stream what was happening in the pavilion. Here are two visitors that realized that they were streaming online. Here is another video. We were also playing we're playing some video games live, and people were just like sitting in a way. They were immersed in our video game. This in particular is Verdansk. It's a fictional city of the video game Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and these people were just talking for half an hour, immersed in our environment. Again, we had the Skype, we had the performance. This was a live performance from COVID Room in Milano. All these videos are now saved in our Twitch profile, Abnormal Story. We are super happy. As you can see now, we are still live because the palimpsest is still going, and we gained almost 200 followers in 3 weeks. So we are really happy, and we really want you to maybe go and take a look at some of the content that we uploaded in the last few weeks. Tina was with us at the beginning, so we were super happy. She saw the born of the pavilion, and she did the first, the first talk of the Biennial from there. So we are really happy. It was really nice to have you here in Milano, and also Gigi and Katia, thanks so much for your help. It was really a pleasure, and it was really an intense but really fulfilling experience. Now, if Luigi or Davide wants to add something, maybe I skip something, please let me know or go ahead.
I quickly want to thank you also, Tina, Gigi, Katja, and the whole Tbilisi Biennial team for the help you gave us in setting up the two pavilions. It was quite intense, but I think it worked out quite nicely, and the results are really impressive.
Also for me, I just want to say thank you to all the Tbilisi Biennial team, and it was a great experience. You gave us the opportunity to realize a project that we were thinking about since like I think 2 or 3 years, and it's great that this is happening, and I think it's amazing the amount of content that we're able to put forward between the Milan Pavilion and Tbilisi Pavilion. So anyway, just want to say thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Really amazing. So I would continue with Joanna for Pavilion from Warsaw. I had to be there today, but unfortunately I couldn't. So Joanna, please, maybe you can also show us some photos.
Hello, I will show you shortly a video. So I can bring you into the atmosphere of the project.
Symbolizuje też łazienkę.
Ale nie wiem, chyba mi się nie podoba w ciszy już taką. Wtedy sobie jest uczestnikiem.
Ale zaprosiłaś Olę też do salonu.
Ola, ty jest dobrze z radiem? Ty lepiej słyszą.
Fajnie, że wpadłaś do dużego pokoju.
So this was to give you a little bit of visual overview. The project was a continuation of a common room part 1 that took place in Tbilisi 2 years ago. And it was kind of a translation of a new topic and into the new space of Warsaw. So the Służewiec and Gildania are very similar in many ways. And we try to grab this aspect that both spaces have in common. And it was incredibly complicated process due to all the demonstrations going on in Warsaw, the fact that half of our team, me included, is based in Vienna, and we could not travel easily because of COVID. So we still realize it under a little bit different aspects. We brought a private floor plan of one of the flats from Służewiec into the public, and we basically collected sketches from inhabitants, and we worked with one that was kind of our mind map, and we constructed the frame from the wood as a representation of this model. So that's why we brought first the bathroom, then it was a kitchen, bedroom, and it ended up with living room. And this was this kind of experiment on site that was a good solution to interrupt the daily routine of the inhabitants of Służewiec, to interact with them, collect this knowledge about the neighborhood, and especially in COVID times where almost nothing can happen in the public space. It was a good white canvas that could be covered with voices of the neighborhood.
Thank you, Joanna. So we plan to do a third opening in spring.
Please, let's do so.
I will come to Warsaw for sure. I think we don't have any more physical projects here, the participants. So I would like to move to digital projects. So I see the Kumbina team. Hello. Would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi guys.
No? Yeah.
Yes. Can you guys hear me? Great. So hi everyone. I am the only one from the Kumbina team who could take part in this call this day. So first I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be part of this huge organization in a very unlikely period of gatherings and events and organizations such as this one. So firstly, I would like to say that the Kumbina project was actually, in the first place, was imagined as a physical installation. And then due to the whole COVID and pandemic thing, we decided to transpose it into a digital one. So basically, it also fits very well with the theme of your Biennial, meaning how can we live together? We live in a time which actually coexistence cannot be taken for granted. But there are some things that we also cannot have control over them. One of these is the sound, the things that we hear when we do our daily activities, when we walk, when we work, when we go at parks, when we take our dogs out, our kids out, and things like that. And we were inspired by the sounds of our city. We live in Tirana. Most of us live in Tirana. This city has a very interesting soundscape. It is mainly because of the multiplicity of religions that coexist in a very crowded and packed space. So we have mosques, we have churches, we have Catholic churches, we have Orthodox churches, we have different kinds of mosques, and all of these religious institutions, they coexist between each other, but also they merge very well with a very active city soundscape, like cars, kids in the streets, all the different activities that happen during the day here in our town. So we decided to go for a website, a digital project. I will share my screen now just a little bit to show you, but you can also visit the kumbima.com page. Just let me share my screen for a moment here. Okay. So let me know when you can see my screen. Probably you can see it now. Great. So basically, when we decided to go with this soundscape project, we hired a very, very good sound engineer who actually came here, stayed a couple of days, and he did field recordings of different situations in the streets of the country, of the city of Tirana. And after he did those things, he went out and made some kind of composition with these untouched sounds. He didn't add any supplementary effect, just merged them together and tried to create a rhythmic, some kind of approach to a real life scenario of sounds. So basically, our website here on the landing page, once you click on the Begin the Experience button, you will be served one of our 4 professionally recorded sound sets, which is a multitude of 6 sounds which interact with each other and with your mouse when you move it on the screen. Now, I'm not sure if you can hear the sound that will come out from the website. Can you hear it? No?
Mm.
So basically, when you move the mouse around the side, the different levels of the sounds, they will merge with each other and they will change, creating this kind of walking by atmosphere, but with sounds. So in this case, in the sound set number 2, we have a mosque, we have a Catholic church choir singing, and we have street noise with people talking and going about their daily activities. So and each time you refresh the site, you will get another one of our sound sets. There are 4 of them. So that with a slight movement of your mouse from left to right, slightly, I mean, not in a rush, but gently, and from up to down, you can hear the changing sounds, and you can hear the different sensations that walking in our city brings to you. Regarding the composition of our team, we are 8 people now. Most of us are architects. I am one of the few non-architects of the team. I am the technical guy who actually built the site. There's also the sound engineer guy who could not take part of this project. As I said, most of us, we are Albanians. We live in Tirana, but we also have a French member, Pierre, who lives between Paris and Berlin. He is an architect. We have Hust, which is a Belgian architect who lives here in Tirana for 4 years, and he actually helped us understanding the perspective of our town from a foreigner, from someone who was not born here and who is not accustomed to our soundscape in the city. And we have also, as I mentioned, the sound engineer, which is an Albanian from Kosovo. So yes, we are a multicultural and multidisciplinary collective, we may say. So the website is kumbima.com. You can go and have a look when you have time. I suggest that you put on some headphones and you put yourself in a quiet space. Just press the Begin the Experience button and just move your mouse slowly from left to right, from right to left, from up to down to see how the different sounds interact with each other and the atmosphere that is created with these sounds. So yeah, basically that's what I have to say for the project. I thank you guys again.
Thank you, Andy.
And if you have any questions, I will stay till the end to answer.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to move to another digital project. I see that they're from Dastroika here. You can unmute yourself, Alexandra, and tell a bit about your project.
Hi, yeah, my name is Alexandra, and I'm here on behalf of my team, Anna and Stasia. We are three of us are Polish, and I live in Amsterdam. Anna is in Copenhagen. Stasia is in Poland. Me and Anna, we are architects, while Stasia is our source of Georgian knowledge. She's a journalist who lived in Georgia for 5 years. And so I will just share a screen with you. And yeah, this is our website. It's the Strojka. And we take a look at the phenomenon of the Strojkas, which are completions that are very this is a phenomenon which is very interesting for us, which is like this the fraction in between togetherness and commonness of Georgian society, which is very strongly bonded, and at the same time carelessness of the common space, which which materializes in this patchwork characteristic of Georgian tenement houses. And this was super interesting for us. So we decided to create popularizing this phenomenon platform, which is a 3D model. It's an 3D model that is interactive, and all the users can come and build their own Dostroika, become a part of the community. So the whole process looked, we documented a lot of Georgian elevations of tenement buildings. We created 3D models basing on them, and we built this 3D platform in Unity with our developer. Yeah, so this is this kind of super simple tool, which can be used by kids and also by professionals. And to have the deeper insight in the subject, we also worked on a publication. So when you go on a website, you can click here to read more. And here is a publication which was mainly made by Stasia. And here we can find text about our project, about this phenomenon, as well as essay of Stasia, and 2 interviews with experts about Tbilisian public space. One of them is architect living in Tbilisi and working in Georgia. The publication is in English, so you can easily read about it. And also our project was a part of the Meta Lab exhibitions, for which I would like to really thank Anna for this opportunity, because it was at the first we weren't supposed to do that, but later on Anna got in contact with us. So this is our project, and actually I don't know, I pretty like it. I mean, I kind of surprised that we managed to do that in 1 month, because it was especially a lot of work for our developer and technical team.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I also tried to play with it. It's really, really cool.
Thanks.
Great. So let's move to another project, another digital project. Oh, Claudiana, I see you. Maybe you can tell a bit more about your project.
Yes. Hi, finally I see you, and a lot of you that I don't know. So I'm here on behalf of a team of 3 people, and actually Andy is also here, and Cam went to make dinner. So we contributed with the project called Earth Movers in the section of digital project in the format of a film essay. Where it actually represents a research that we have been doing into a very specific machine that has been very present in Albania recently. That is that of the bulldozer. which is it falls into the earth movers category of machines. But mostly it was very important for us to somehow shape our thoughts and research into this machine, especially linked to a very recent event that has somehow disturbed a lot the public in Albania, that is that of a very brutal demolition of the National Theatre. That happened under a curfew, an imposed curfew, and that was also performed through an extreme violence to its citizens. But as well, we wanted to address within the theme of the Biennial, what do we have in common, mostly trying to understand especially the exercised institutional violence into commons, and taking especially the case of the National Theatre of Albania as such, since it has a history of resistance of almost 27 months, where a group of citizens, upon listening to the announcement of its demolition, they occupied the building and every day tried to be there and use their bodies to protect it. And actually, it's almost an unprecedented case of such a long resistance and such a bold action of claiming commons in the city. But we tried to actually look mostly also into the bulldozer itself and its history. It's very interesting, and especially how it links a lot of things that we think are also very important to talk when we talk about commons, that are that of politics, finance, environment, and we looked since actually the descendant of the bulldozer, since the plows and its usage from Western expansionist and colonial settlers as a way of also domesticating land, and the ritualization of work that then produced war. And yeah, so you can watch the movie on the 22nd floor, I think, in your website. And yeah.
Thank you, Claudiana. Thank you so much. Okay, so now let's move to another category, which are workshops. So there are some people present at the Bridge Station, and I see Susie here. So maybe Susie, we can start with you to tell about your workshop, what you have realized.
Sure, it's great to see everyone. Thanks for having us here, Tina. So we led a 2-day workshop at my collective called Collective Domain. I can share my screen and show you a little bit about that. Okay. So the main impetus for us was thinking about bridging the researcher-practitioner divide. So we were able to get a team of 12 different participants together, coming from a really broad range of backgrounds. I'll start to show some of the YouTube video in the background as we're talking. And so the main idea was really just to think about different approaches to site analysis and what that might mean in terms of learning from one another across these disciplines. So these are the 12 different participant groups that we had, coming from a range of countries, from Azerbaijan, Georgia, Romania, Armenia, Ukraine, and the Netherlands. And in addition to the workshop itself, each of the teams put together a poster, which you can now see online in a kind of online exhibition. This is an example of the poster put together by urban curators out of Ukraine. And it was really just about focusing on how we do what we do. What are the different modes of representing our work? When do we do it at different stages? And then synthesized across each of the projects was this kind of project timeline that broke down all of the different types of approaches we were using, when we use them. And then if you go from, say, one group's poster to another, you can start to compare all of these. And they're available on the website in this way too. So the discussions were focused far less on a kind of theoretical framing of architecture and more just on a really hands-on approach to methodologies, and really thinking through new exchanges for epistemological approaches to our work that can start to bridge from, say, design practitioners to urban researchers. And encompassed within that were different discussions around things like, to what degree is architecture becoming a profession of mass specialization versus one that could be about more collaborative practice and starting to expand in our horizons. We were also fortunately joined, I should mention, I saw them on the call by Ismet's group, who's here with us. I don't know if at any point they want to jump in, feel free. But yeah, so the video is up on YouTube. I won't take too long because I know we have other presenters. But you can see the video on YouTube, or you can go and see any of the posters available on our site too. So there's some really productive exchanges, and conversations still going on offline right now.
Thank you so much, Susie. I would like to move now to another workshop, which is Metaform. So I know that there are people in Birja Station and also online. Sandro, maybe you can start.
Hello. Yes. I will share the screen. I don't know, maybe my friends and teammates can start telling about our main idea and our project, and I will continue then. So they're also on Birja Station. Or shall I begin? I don't know.
I think you can go ahead because they're muted and I don't know if they can hear us.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm really happy to be with you. And
so, hello everyone.
Now they.
Sorry, Sandro. Yeah, we're here. We're the majority, so sorry.
Yeah, you can start and I will continue.
So, hello again. We're the Metaform team. So we had the workshop on the critical analysis of Georgian architecture. We're the team of 4 people. Here I have Nodar Kwanchiani, Salome Gugunava, me, Nutsalom Sadze, and you see Sandro Gachachiladze online. So the workshop was held in during 2 weeks. From 19th to 30th of October, and the objective was to rethink and rediscover.
We can't hear you anymore.
I'm sorry, I accidentally muted you guys. Can you unmute yourselves? Sorry.
Yeah. So I was saying that the workshop intended to rediscover the encoded intelligence of Georgian architecture. And first we started to just intuitively find some buildings of which are throughout the history, but then we thought that maybe this time we should focus on the specific period of architecture, which was in this case the Soviet modernism. So we took 9 buildings, which we analyzed. Students who participated in the workshop, they analyzed, and the methodology of the workshop was the formal reading, formal analysis, or close reading. And we had 9 speakers who also gave lectures, 9 keynote speakers who years in this methodology, and it was really important. And I think all of them, also locals and international speakers, were very interesting. Okay, that's all for now. I think Sandra will continue to show some materials from the workshop and discuss a bit further.
Yeah, so I will continue. Hello again. I'm really excited to be part of this year of Biennial and to see all of your projects today. Also was very interesting to see all of the projects together. So as Nutsa said, we had several keynote speakers. and these videos are available on Biennial's webpage and YouTube page. And I think it is extremely important because the speaker spoke about formal analysis in architecture, and all of them had somehow different perspective of it. And meanwhile, we also use these methodologies on Georgian buildings. So I think a lot of knowledge has been accumulated. We had Peter Eisenman, Andrew Saunders, Guran Zibahashvili, Georgian photographer, Lena Kiladze, also from Georgia. David Bostanashvili made a really interesting lecture about formal analysis. Pier Paolo Tamburelli from Italy, Milan. Lorenzo Delle Esposti, also from Milan. Alexander Chubinidze from Georgia. And Levan Kalandarishvili made a really interesting lecture about history of Tbilisi. So using all this knowledge, some students went further and analyzed 9 buildings, as Nusa already mentioned. So I will really quickly go through all of them. And so you see that the buildings were really difficult to understand, and the students tried to use this method of formal analysis and close readings to find out the tools architects use, the compositional tools, the formal tools, to find the rhythm in the buildings and so on. And findings were really interesting. I think we don't have time to go deep into them, but you can see the methods they used. It was like compositional deconstruction. Also, they made volumes of the buildings, and in the end, we will have the publication where we will reflect more about it. So this one was Palace of Rituals from Victor Jorbenadze. It is Tbilisi funicular. So in all of the buildings, different methods were used, and it was really interesting to find out all of these ideas, architectural ideas which are present in these buildings. It is building of email by Strusev, architect. We also had Tbilisi Concert Hall. This one is Chess Palace and Alpine Club. Yeah, I think now we don't have time, so it's a little bit difficult to understand, but you can see, for instance, also in this building, they found out that building was constructed by different modules, and actually it was really interesting because these modules also continued in 3D, and in a 3D, same modules were used. So architects thought all about it, and it is really interesting. It is Hotel Ajara, for instance. It is a bread factory from Shota Bostanashvili and Vakhtang Davitaian. And it is former archaeological museum. So in the end, I think a lot of knowledge has been accumulated, and also in the end, we had discussion with some of architects from international area, including Lorenzo Delle Esposti, Andrew Saunders, Kyle Miller, also Georgian architects. And it was really interesting and productive, I think, to discuss these buildings in a global perspective, and discussion went in a really interesting way, and there were a lot of differences and comparisons between Georgian and global architecture, and I think somehow during the workshop the new perspective towards these buildings arose, and we will try to show all this in our publication. And I want to thank Tbilisi Biennale again for giving us opportunity to do it, and also for being so friendly to work with. So I'm really happy about our project and my team, and also team of Tbilisi Biennale.
Thank you, Sandro, and the whole Metaform team for such an amazing workshop. I would like to move now because we're already 1.5 hours online. So, and I would like to.
Tico, wait.
Yes, okay.
Tico, wait. There are some guys from Metaform who want to add something.
Thank you again to Tbilisi Biennial for this opportunity. We were very glad to develop this kind of research of formal analysis on Georgian architecture. And also, as Sandro mentioned, what was very important for us to kind of find this intelligence that is somehow encoded and buried under the ground, but also it was kind of very collaborative process where Georgian and international students were working with different tutors from all around the world. And we had discussions through Zoom and Skype, and we were like trying to find all of these kind of methods that our architects use. And I think the most important thing what we can find here is a global discussion, as also Sandro mentioned. And I remember during the final presentation of the workshop, different scholars like Lorenzo Delle Esposti and Drew Saunders, who developed very specific research about Baroque topologies and Baroque architecture. We're discussing and trying to find some similarities between Georgian architecture and international architecture as such. Like, for example, building by Shota Bostanashvili was many times compared to Louis Kahn, and some things, former Minister of Highway Building was compared to OMA's buildings, and even some jury members said that OMA very much copied this building. So it was again for participation, Georgian students again, and tutor like.
We cannot hear you anymore. It's very bad. Okay, I think the connection was lost with the Bija station because I don't see them, and also we cannot hear them anymore. Okay, maybe we can I don't know what happened. Maybe we can continue. Okay, sorry, I don't know what happened with the Bija station. But let's continue with some more participants who are here are watching us. So I see Elena Darjania. So we move to the symposium part. And I see Elena and also Francesco. So Elena, maybe you can tell us about your panel.
Yep. Hi, everyone. Good evening or good morning probably for some of you. Yeah, I could probably also do a screen share really quick. So the panel. Can you hear me now? All right, cool. So the panel that I put together, the title was Tragedy of the Commons, Architecture in the Age of Planetary Crisis. The idea was to look at the concept of the tragedy through the lens of its ultimate form, which is usually conceptualized as a climate change. And we had 4 pre-recorded videos, and then it ended up as a discussion. I will just quickly scroll. So we had Vlad Afanasiev and Louisa Crossman presenting Cosmos Law, Chiara Di Leone, Laura Cogusi, and Anastasia Noga presenting Cassandra. Those 2 projects were developed as part of Strelka program this year. And we had Tekla Aslanishvili and Evelina Gambino presenting Remaking Anaklia, the Architecture of Ruin. And the last but not least, we had Ross Adams discussing speculative imperialism in the age of natural violence. And then we had 1 hour quite intensive discussion. And to be honest, I was really surprised how well it went. Somehow participants were really picking up on each other's thoughts. I really enjoyed moderating it. Basically the question was the concept of crisis, how climate crisis affects architecture, the practice, what we have to do with planetarity and what is the scale of the planet. Is it the practice of being, or is it really a scale, like architectural scale, and so on and so forth? And then, yeah, I think we had more topics, more questions than answers, which I really like. And I think there is a room for maybe another session. At least all the participants were very happy with idea to continue maybe next year or year after in Tbilisi again. So thank you, Dicho, so much for giving this time. Also Otto and Gigi, thank you for organizing it. I think it was really, really, really great. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Elena. And we have now last person, but not the least, Francesco. Are you here, Francesco? So Francesco also moderated a panel. Francesco, can you hear me? Okay. So Francesco is an editor of Volume magazine from Amsterdam, and he had the keynote speech with Jacob van Rijs from MVRVD. And okay, maybe he will appear, because I saw that he was here and then he somehow got lost. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. I would like to mention some other projects that nobody's present personally. So we have a great collection of publication for some material for the publication, which is available online. You can check it on our website. We have really amazing texts that were submitted. And also there is another exhibition that happened in Tbilisi, which was also very, very interesting, done by Multiverse Architecture. You can also check the online tour. It was concerning the industrial heritage, and also there was a workshop conducted, like the first part of the workshop conducted by our other partners from Skopje, Melem Skopje. Sarah is also not present here. I hope I didn't forget anything. And anybody who's here, and everybody presented the work. I personally really enjoyed to see all the works, like put together, and it was important, I think, to exchange somehow, because we cannot meet physically, and it's good to see everyone together. And yes, maybe I would ask the Birja station, the other team members of the Biennial, to say something if they hear us. They don't hear us, okay. I will write them, but I would like to thank so much our technician, Valerie, who probably most of you already know. Valerie Didimadloba, he hears us now. So, Valerie, he was always showing like this. Without Valerie, this wouldn't happen. So, I'm just writing to the Georgian guys in the Birja station. And to amazing team who created our calendar, Elena Basuri, our content manager of our website, Irakli Kochelashvili, our graphic designers in Berlin, and in Tbilisi, Joachim and Anna, our web developers. There are a lot of them, so I won't say all their names. And Tamara, Gigi, and Otto, who are the team members of the Biennial. Also, not to forget, I almost forgot because there are so many projects. We have like 2 research projects. There was one project, Tbilisi Architecture Archive, that was created in the frames of the Biennial. It's a website. You can check the website. And it's slowly filling with the projects, because in Georgia or in Tbilisi, we don't really have an architectural archive, and it's a very, very important job that has been initiated. Also, we have a market research by Onur Cheritoglu, who's also not present here, but he also did a very interesting job and project. So I think I didn't forget anyone. I hope so. So,
Nico, can you hear us?
Can you say something, guys, from your side?
First of all, thanks to Tetragon Studio, who made all of the communications of Biennial.
Yes.
And and Swanis and Tasso were the main figures who did all of this. And Creative Europe is our main supporter and our main sponsor. And many people, as you mentioned, were like contributors and part of this game which somehow survived us to go online and somehow to try to survive in this period. And from tomorrow, lockdown is starting, and enjoy. But Nicholas Lomidze's and Alexandre Garibashvili's project will awake us in next week with their upcoming project, and it will be like our hope to survive and somehow to do some new initiatives. I will give my microphone to Tamara and Otto to add some. First of all, Tamara.
Hi, I just wanted to thank everyone who participated, because for me it was the first Biennial and first work with this team, and it was a very, very enriching experience, and I've got to know a lot of very interesting people, very nice people, a lot of very interesting projects. So for me it was a very inspiring process. And at the same time, I would like to mention that the main donor of the Biennial was Creative Europe, without whom it would not be possible to realize all these projects. Thank you very much, and let's meet in 2022. Otto, please.
Can you hear me in my shield glass? Good. Thank you very much to all the participants, first of all. And it was quite a challenge, and I'm really happy that in the end we did not cancel the Biennial in 2020, and we did still this hybrid version of the Biennial, which was quite a pain in the ass, I would say. But I'm really, really happy that we had these amazing contributions and amazing works that have been done on physically and also on our webpage. I would thank also the web developers who have been working day and night with all the problems, but in the end it's working. Everybody can visit our webpage from now till the end of September next year, and we'll be updating the webpage all the time with new content all the time. So we are finishing today, but we continue for the next 2 years for the same topic, and I really hope that we'll meet physically in 2022. Thank you very much, and yeah, GeoLab, our web developers, GeoLab, we thank them once again. And see you in 2020, very hopefully physically.
Yes, and before we will have
2022
meet in Ukraine, in Ivano-Frankivsk, hopefully with Anna, with the City Scanning Festival, which is planned this July, and in Berlin, where CEO now is planning also, and in Skopje. So this is not the end. This is one of the beginnings. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys, all of you, all the participants here and in Zoom, and our partners, all of you. Greetings.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Have a nice evening.
Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Ciao.